Good afternoon, and welcome to our SendMyAd 2015 September Tips and Tricks webinar. Today we're going to cover some new features that we've just recently installed, actually just this past weekend. So there's some new things. There's some features that have been around for a few weeks, but we'd like to point them out to you. And so this webinar will actually be fairly fast today. So a lot of these features are kind of self-explanatory, but we do want to point them out and show you where they are, and also ask for your feedback on some of these items as well. Okay, so we're going to talk about the new Softproof Viewer. So if you have not seen the Softproof Viewer before, this will be a good introduction for you. If you have seen it or used it before, it's something that I think you'll see is vastly superior to what you've seen in the past. We're now able to transfer files more easily. A long requested feature, both by you as customers and us, has been to be able to approve publisher approval cycles by group. So we'll show you how to configure that. A change that's been around for a few weeks, and we've slowly been improving it and tweaking it a little bit, is a new search engine. And so this is kind of a behind the scenes thing, but I'll talk a little bit about it, show you a much faster search, and then finally Ad Creator. If you've not seen it before, this will be kind of a whirlwind introduction to it, but for anyone who has used it, you will see that it no longer requires Flash, and it's quite a bit faster in some things. So, and after that, we'll take your questions. If you have any questions as we go, you can just type them in the control panel for GoToWebinar, and we'll answer those at the end or immediately if it's something that's really pertinent. There's a zoom button in the upper left of your screen. You may need to expand your image of the webinar to see everything on my screen, and let us know if you do have any questions. Okay, let's get started. Make this full screen here. Okay, all right. So let's first look at the Softproof Viewer. Now, again, if you've not seen this, it is an option that must be turned on. There is a cost for it. Okay. Sorry, there might have been a problem showing my screen, but hopefully you see that now. Okay, good. All right, so let's take a look at the softproofing viewer. As I said, it is an option. It's something that has to be turned on in your account, and you'll need to speak to your sales rep to work out any details with that. But I have here just a regular ad, and under Actions, I have two options for View Softproof. One of these is going to go away soon. You'll only see one. The original one was a Java client, and Java, especially today on the Mac, has become quite problematic. It's really tough because Apple and Oracle don't quite trust each other, and it used to be that Apple made it really easy. They would bundle Java with the Mac OS, and it was really easy to just keep it updated and working, and it was seamless. And they got away from that, and it's just become an increased burden for Mac users. So, you launch a Java applet, and you get all these warnings about security, and maybe it's out of date, and you have to update, before you can go on. And every new browser wants to deactivate the Java plugin. So it's become complicated and difficult. So what we've done is we've worked to integrate a different version of the viewer, and that uses just HTML. So it's only web code that's used. There's no warning about a plugin. It's not Flash or anything like that. If I right click on my screen, you don't see anything about a Flash plugin or a Java plugin or anything like that. This is all just normal stuff that you'd see on any web page. So all the widgets that you see, all the buttons, all the functionality, it works just like viewing a regular web page inside SendMyAd. So that's going to give you a much more seamless, much easier to use interface. And at the same time, we've been able to expose more functionality for you than we previously were able to do with another version of this HTML only viewer. So it really is very close or is identical to the full Java plugin that used to be there. So I'm not going to go through all of these features. The main thing is just to show you that that it's fast, it's easy, there's no plugin issues. But just to give you a real quick flavor of this, you can click the channels button and you can exclude different channels if you want. And you can see that it goes out and redraws. So now I'm just seeing the cyan and yellow channels in this image. Now just those. You can do any combination that you want, and then you can turn on all of the channels again. So this is really helpful when you're trying to get a sense of what the color breakdown is. You can take densitometer readings. So if you're unsure about what the color values are at any point, you can check those. You can post a note there, a little annotation. So now I'll just click off the densitometer. That goes away, but my note remains, and you can see that it's listed here in the annotations panel. Okay, I can do different types of annotations. I can, there's different marks. I can draw in different ways. So there's like a free form, drawing tool. I can do that, and again, that stores in the history over here. Okay, so there's all kinds of functionality that's here, and this is not meant to show you everything, but I think if you've used it, then you will appreciate that this is much faster and easier, and a lot easier to use from a browser standpoint. And also that, if you haven't seen this before, it gives you just a quick idea of what we offer with this feature. Okay, so using my same ad here, I'll show you very quickly two of those really small features that we've added, but we feel it will be something useful for you. And the first of those is in the Assets panel. You may already know, you may come over here sometimes and maybe you want to get your original file, or maybe you'd like to see the PDF X1A file that we've made, but perhaps we haven't finalized the ad yet. Maybe you haven't approved it, but you want to get the PDF that we made. We have that over here. And the preview file that we make, that's here. Okay. It used to be that you'd go into the Actions menu and you could do a transfer of some of those types of files. Okay. But what we've done is we've moved that out to what makes sense. It's just, you're actually looking at this file, and while you're there, why not just take care of it right here? So you can download from the little gear menu or transfer the file. So if a download is just a regular straight download of the file, we'll just download it to your local computer. Transfer file is used if you have already set up a delivery destination in your company profile and you've set it as a manual transfer type. I'll hop over there and show you that in a moment. But this lets you choose which of the destinations you're going to use. You can rename it while you're transferring it, and you hit send file and off it goes. So that's really useful should you want to deliver that file to your printer, to a local FTP site, to a partner somewhere. Very, very easy to do. And so I have two set up, one for digital and one for print ads. Those are just standard delivery destination setups. The only difference is you tell it, what type of file you want to work with, print or tablet. And here we say that it's going to be ready for manual transmissions. Okay. Actually, I grabbed the wrong one there. Yeah, here it is. Print and tablet manual transfers, and you can see right here I have for manual transmission set. Okay, so that's really easy to set up. It's easy to use now. It makes logical sense where to find the action. Okay. The next thing I want to show you is an often requested feature, and that is with the approval setup. Okay. And let's go to an existing approval that I have here. Okay. And what I can do is now assign who is going to be responsible for approving this particular cycle by group. And so right here, I can grab whatever group I want, hit add, okay, and you can see that it adds my user. Okay. I can mix and match there. And if I want, I can also remove the group. Okay. Now, the way this works is if you have assigned by a group, it doesn't mean that everyone in the group needs to approve it. It just means that someone in the group is responsible for approving that particular cycle. Okay, so that's a long requested feature. We in support and development have wanted that for a while as well, so we're excited to see that. It should make that quite a lot easier for you. Okay. All right, let's move on to something that's near and dear to my heart because I worked on it, and that's the advanced print search. So if you are in the print view and you've gone here to do an advanced search, you have no doubt typed in what you want for your search term. Okay. So you type that in and you'd hit search, and then you would wait and you would wait and you would wait. And depending on how busy the total system was, the time of day, a lot of factors, that could really take a long time. It depends on what you were searching for, a lot of different things. But you can see that was very, very, very fast. Not quite instantaneous, but it's pretty darn close, and it's orders of magnitude better than what it used to be. Now, I'm sorry that it's not a more exciting demo, but I hope the speed speaks for itself. And I want to explain just what's going on behind the scenes. What we've done is we've put in a separate system for search. It's very much like a Google type search engine. It's not actually Google. It's not one of their appliances or something, but it's a very well-known search engine that many companies use. It's a great piece of software. And what we're doing is we're indexing the data. So as new files come in, as new changes are made, we're picking up those changes and we're adding them to our index. And so when we search, rather than searching the database, we're searching the index. And that turns out to be just a lot more efficient because as SendMyAd has gone on, it's gotten very large. We have lots of files, and the database is very, very big. So this extra system, this index, it really is both a much more efficient way to search, but it's also a more flexible way. Now you'll notice, I hope, that there's no change at all in the interface. And that was intentional. We wanted to be pretty conservative about how we did this because we wanted to make sure it would work well. We could in a heartbeat switch back to the old version if we had any sort of problems. Luckily, the transition was very, very seamless. Nobody even really noticed. We had a few things we had to tweak, but we did that very quickly. But the point of this is that this new search system also opens up a lot of different features and functions that we can now roll into the interface. So over the coming months, you may see that this interface begins to change and evolve. And that's as we kind of learn the benefits of the system and what we can do with it, and how best to kind of refigure this interface to make it easier for you, but to keep it powerful. So we're batting around different ideas. If you have things that you like in search engines that you've seen on different sites, let us know. We'd be happy to consider those. But basically a lot of the types of search features you've seen on other sites are now available to us. And so we hope that, as you add new data and, lots of new files, that this will become a greater, more useful tool for you. Right now, it's limited to print ads. We, of course, are looking at expanding this to all the other types of searches as well. We haven't gotten that far yet, but we're looking to see what will give us the most bang for the buck development-wise. So anyway, we'd be happy to hear your thoughts on it. If you're finding that searches aren't returning the results that you'd expect, let us know, because that's something that might be a bug or that we need to tweak. One little hint I'll tell you is that we at some time in the past we switched the default search to materials ID. So if you just open up the window, it goes right to materials ID, because that's the one that most people tend to search for that first, or maybe advertiser. The general search used to be painfully slow, but you'll now find that it's as fast as the others, and it should include pretty much all of these different options here. The only exception to this is the custom meta. That search you'll find may still be quite slow, because we're going back to the old search method for just that one kind, because it's a little different. We'll hopefully change that over time, but don't report that as a bug, because that actually is not part of the custom meta, is not part of the new search yet. But anyway, we hope that you find it much more useful than it used to be. Okay, now let's wrap this webinar up with a quick look at Ad Creator. So it used to be that when creating an ad, and again, this is another option. This is a whole different system, has to be turned on. Again, speak to your sales rep about that if you're interested. But to create an ad, and we have templates that we've created, and these are meant for like quick, simple display ads, usually like in the back of a title or something. But it used to be that this used Flash plugin quite a lot. And so both the preview, any preview that you saw, both the entire ad image as well as any images, were actually Flash widgets. However, if I right-click on this now, you'll see that there's nothing about Flash. This is a normal standard HTML web page. Same with the preview over here. Okay, and I'm just going to very quickly create this ad. The biggest change is this new uploader. This has been converted entirely over to HTML5. And if I want to upload an image, it's just a standard browse button. Okay, and when that comes in, again, even this widget used to be, the uploader used to be Flash. It's just HTML now. Okay, we do the pre-flight of the image, and we now let you drag the image to position it. Okay, you can use the stepper buttons, okay, to just nudge it over. Okay, we also now have a fit image to frame or a center. Okay, you can also use your keyboard if you want to nudge the position, so your arrow buttons on your keyboard. Okay, all of that now in HTML. Hit done, and that's going to position my ad image. And after that, I can edit the text. Not the most original ad, but let's go ahead and complete that. Okay, so this demonstrates really that we are moving to an HTML native experience for you and getting away from specialized plugins and Java. And that's following a general trend across web applications all over the internet now. There's a real effort to do as much as possible in native HTML. So we are headed in that direction. We're a big believer in that. We're trying to remove any dependencies on Java and Flash. I think we've in the works. I'm not, I'm not promising any availability of this, but one of the obvious things is replacing the trim tool with a native HTML version. So that's in the works in the background as well. So just to let you know that we have that goal. That's where we're headed. This shows that we've made good progress on that, and we hope that translates. I mean, it's a bit of geek speak for you, but it should translate to a faster, more streamlined experience for you and your users. All right, well, that wraps up our topics for today. If you have any questions, we'll take them now. One question is the availability of search for users, and that's one that is probably one of our biggest targets, searching for users and advertisers. So that is in fact the one that we are assuming we'll do next. I've started to take a look at adding that. That's kind of the most obvious one, so that you can search for your customers. So some of you have a tremendous number of advertisers, and searching for those can be also quite slow, maybe not quite as bad as searching for ads. And then the other ones would be tablet and digital ads. So those are probably next. Another question is, with the search engine, we also will return results for ad reservations. That was one that when we first rolled this out a couple weeks ago, it wasn't catching the ad reservations in the results, but it will now show those as well. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for your time today. We're happy that you could join us. If you have any feedback about today, any of the things I've shown you, or particularly topics for next month's webinar, please send those to us in support or contact your sales rep. We would be delighted to show you things that you're most interested in. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.